All right, Dr. Abati, I think I would just like to say that the elections have really shown that opposition political parties actually need to really work very well. I mean, they cannot continue to stay by the sidelines and accuse the governing APC of, monopolizing victory, when indeed they actually need to show capacity. I mean, in terms of the elections and then what, INEC did, you would have heard the civil society organizations and election monitors actually saying what really happened here and there. I want to go from the angle of the politics of the election myself. And let's start with the opposition not really, showing up a very good performance this time around. We really need to question those facts that are coming out from the election. What exactly was the opposition doing to this extent that the results coming up do not reflect what happened in the 2022 election or 2018 election, which were very much intense. In terms of organization, INEC, discharges responsibilities very well. It cannot actually be 100%, but from what we can see, there were some elements of decency in terms of conduct of electoral officials and all of that. But the persistent issues of vote buying remain, which is a problem that the security services have to help INEC to overcome. And then you also have the issues of, in terms of organization, you will see that the opposition politicians going into the election did not properly seem organized, and unfortunately APC took advantage of this, and you can see the results that are coming out from there. But in terms of the conduct of electoral officials, it's very high, except for the issues that we had with the Edo State chairman of the APC, Jared Tenebe, being an election observer. I don't know how INEC would have given him their electoral jacket if he registered to be an election observer, whether INEC did not do due diligence in terms of knowing who he is and all of that. So INEC owes us an explanation on that. But I would want the opposition political parties not to just capitalize on those rhetoric, but to take a look at their performance. If you go to the last election, you see that Governor Opp0sition in 2022 got about 187,000 votes to emerge victorious, and then of course the runner-up then PDP had about 82,000. And then you go to the previous elections in 2018, and you see Governor Fayemi having about I think it was like about 187,000 too, similar to that. And then you could see, the PDP that, followed up. You see that the figures, the election was very competitive. This time around, the question is, why would Governor Opp0sition get this sort of huge figures, and then the opposition, PDP getting about 40,000, or I think 42,000. So it questions a whole lot of things, whether the opposition in Ekiti State themselves, they did not get themselves properly organized. I know that there were the distractions as to, the court cases for the PDP governorship candidate, Dr. Wole Oluyede, but nonetheless, I think it's a time for soul searching, because this has actually revealed that the APC, it's focusing on, the nitty-gritty of, winning elections, and not, focusing more on social media and all of that. So I will ask the opposition political parties to reflect, because the margin of victory is so high, and if they are saying that there were accusations of, rigging, then they will have to provide more evidence, because I don't think that the opposition really did their homework very well. And so this should serve as a lesson that going into the general elections in 2027, the opposition political parties need to show capacity. Look at, for example, the ADC. I mean, the ADC was really practically nowhere, despite the accusation of their governorship candidate. And so look at, for example, other political parties. I mean, some of them were just there just to mark the register and so on. So they should actually give the APC, its flowers for this election, and see how we can improve on some things. Yes, all political parties benefited in terms of this vote buying that they are saying. It's not just the APC and all of that. Nonetheless, it's something that we really need to tackle. We really need to tackle. Actually, if you talk to political pundits, the other political parties did not really stand a chance. Because look at the PDP candidate. There were accusations that even the PDP themselves, many of them sold out in terms of, the Turaki faction versus the national chairman, Brahma Mohammed, of the party at the moment. So there was no real support. I think Wike's Rainbow Coalition actually worked in favor of the APC, and they did not support their candidates because, you can't see them vocalizing anything at all. Even the national chairman of the PDP, from the Wike angle, to which Dr. Wole Oluode ran to, after he had left the Turaki faction that helped him to secure the ticket, it's very clear that, he didn't really stand a chance so much. But one thing I love about it is that the governor-elect has then gone ahead to meet with the APC, with the PDP ADC candidate to try to see how they will build a one Ekiti and so on. But if the opposition does have evidence of rigging, that doesn't mean that despite the reconciliation efforts, they should not go to court. But I doubt if the figures will be so strong. And then you take a look at the Progressive Governors Forum too. I think under Governor Hope Uzodinma, I can see some ray of hope coming back to that forum. You could see, the Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun alongside, Governor Obasani, all coming together. These were people who were, throwing blows at each other recently. So it looks like maybe the APC seems to be putting the internal disputes within its party into place and trying to see how they can resolve issues ahead of the election. Because, they were already being shown, the way that 2027 election will be by other opposition political parties. And I think what happened at the Progressive Governors Forum, where they wanted to sack Governor Hope Uzodinma, really awakened the need for them to also reunite. And so seeing all of them coming to visit Governor Yebanji and commend him and, to thank the people of Ekiti State, away from the election, it actually, lets us know that they are really working at reconciliation. So the opposition political parties should learn from this. Look at the PDP that had its governors forum. The Governor Bala Mohammed went to APM, Sheyi Makinde is there doing APM, PDP alliance. They couldn't put their house in order. And as a result of that, the party lost out. So other political parties should work towards reconciliation. APC is doing a lot of this reconciliation, and it seems to be working for them. So kudos to Governor Hope Uzodinma for trying to actually put his house in order from the PGF, and of course, supporting, Governor Yebanji. You could see how they all came out to support their governorship candidate. Yes, we saw the ADC's David Mark, Aregbesola coming up, but what would have happened is to see people like Atiku Abubakar there too. But we didn't see him. So how would the ADC governorship candidate feel encouraged? Well, these are difficult times for opposition political parties, but I think they need to organize instead of agonizing every now and then. And then, of course, you can't put NDC in the mix because they are still new and they didn't really have a candidate. Now, let's take a look at other issues that are rising. The PRP is in the eye of the storm, and Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River State, is being taken to court by one of the aspirants for the presidential ticket of the party. And it actually beggars belief. When exactly did Donald Duke join the PRP? Because a lot of us were surprised when we saw him, announcing his indication to contest for the presidential ticket of the party, and all of a sudden we heard that he won. And so, this gentleman who is going to the court really wants to ascertain if indeed by May 4th, when the digital register of the PRP had been submitted to INEC, Donald Duke's name was on it or not. He's claiming that Donald Duke joined the party through the back door and that his name was not submitted on the register. So it's incumbent on INEC to provide those facts before the court and show whether indeed Donald Duke's name was on it. Because there are also some talks within the polity that Donald Duke is actually a placeholder for some other politician who is in another party in case that party does not, it gets into murky waters ahead of the election. So these are the issues that we want clarity on. Is it right as, a presidential aspirant to justify whether indeed Donald Duke is a member of the party or not. But he then went ahead to make allegations that there was rigging, and then there was also overvoting and all of that. I think Donald Duke should just, go to the court, provide all the facts, and if he does, I don't think this case will go far. But this is the problem with opposition parties. The PRP, which had been very, peaceful, you can see how, things are beginning to unravel. Why can't the party make use of the internal, conflict resolution mechanism within the party to resolve this? But I know that Dr. Akim Babamed, who's the national chairman, is someone that can be able to handle these issues, and we'll be looking forward to see if indeed this can be done through an out-of-court settlement, because they don't really need this ahead of the elections. They were already consolidating, and many were happy for them that they may be able to get some seats during this next election, but unfortunately, this court case is another sad one. Of course, very quickly, on the Kano issue,
very quickly,
the Kwankwaso people have come out to actually deny that, and they said that there's nothing like that, that the accusation by the Kano state leadership, some PRP stakeholders are false, and that they want the PRP itself to come out and clarify if indeed Kwankwaso received 69 forms or not. So within this, we'll wait to see, but the PRP should put its house in order.